Have you heard the news? It's getting lots of rave reviews. A good time is waiting just for you at Sister Spokesman. Girl, won't you send the facts? Drop on by, grab a drink and relax. Bring your business cards and we'll chat at Sister Spokesman.
Hey sisters!
Soul sisters!
Okay. Death is not a conversation that's easy to have. However, when we don't plan ahead, it really leaves the ones that we leave behind in a bind. Because now they got to figure out how they're going to come up with money that they may not have had to bury you, and then they got to kind of, make all the plans that you could have made for yourself while you were still able to. So it's important that we do really take into consideration seriously our end-of-life planning, and think about it in the aspect that we're not thinking about dying, but we're thinking about taking care of the ones that we love, and we're making sure. Anita is a certified financial planning practitioner, registered to offer security products, and licensed to sell life and health insurance. And so please join me in welcoming Anita to the stage.
But I am glad to be here to talk to you about planning. And as Tracy had mentioned, it's obviously hard to talk about some of these things sometimes, but it's the greatest gift you can give to your loved ones. When you think of end of life, don't think of it so much as a negative. Think of it as your estate plan. And what we're going to discuss today talks about really formalizing your estate plan. And everything you think about, if you're going to college, having a plan on how to approach your application process, the programs, the schools that you're applying to, everything that you kind of do in life has a certain process to it. And so even though we look at this as developing an estate plan, a lot of people don't think about how that is really a positive way to look at having things go according to your wishes and how you would like to see it done. Not so much how necessarily the person receiving, which that can be taken into consideration, the person receiving it, but really it comes down to you deciding how you would like it to go. And a lot of times the information may be something you don't want the person receiving it to know ahead of time. That's one thing that we cannot just keep it up here in our head and never get it in writing. Then it is not a legal document if it's in our head, obviously, or if we can't communicate it, that's not good either. So having it in writing definitely gets you started. And even if you have to redo it because things have changed, it's still better to have it already in writing. And even if you're married, you still have an estate separate from your spouse. And we'll talk about that a little bit, because there are special things that happen when you're legally married, and also things when you get divorced and undo the marriage that change your will or your estate. So when you look at that next slide, it talks about how it passes at death. There are 3 ways that it can happen. So if you set up a will, and again, if you're a married couple, you both need a will. You need your will and your spouse needs a will separate. So when you look at it from that standpoint, that is going to give you a legal document, developing a will, that goes through probate if you're not here. So when you think about it from the standpoint of having your property and telling what goes on if you're not here in your will, that's the most common way people pass on their assets and their estate. But you can own property jointly, tenants in common, with another person, whether it be a spouse, sibling, friend, co-worker. You can own tenants in common with anybody. That still goes through probate.
Hey, have you heard the news? It's getting lots of rave reviews. A good time is waiting just for you at Sister Spokesman. Girl, won't you send the facts? Drop on by, grab a drink and relax. Bring your business cards and we'll chat at Sister Spokesman.